Hello friends, and welcome back to the channel for the halfway point of Season 44. We got War number 6 today against LVT, another very difficult opponent for us. And today's team going in with Void yet again, Hulkling, and Tony returning for I think his third war this season, if my memory is correct. We're going to be starting off once again on path number 3. We have another Venom to deal with. This time with Hulkling instead of Gallon though, so we don't have the special lock immunity, and you see he gets the armor up buff right away. So every time we hit into him, you can see that we are triggering a passive special lock on us. So the fastest way to get through this fight is to build ourselves up to 2 bars of power, get that special 2 ready, and then we're actually going to launch the special 2 into his block when we have one of those pierce charges remaining. And that way the second hit of the special 2 will actually trigger the unblockable, and by then the special lock won't matter here. So right there, second hit of the special triggers the unblockable, and we did a nice chunk of damage. We get both of the Furies, and now the fight is essentially over here. So we are going to finish this fight with a full yellow bar. This is exactly how I envisioned needing to play this fight going in, and that was cool to see it kind of play out like that. Moving up, we have another path split. We got a MOJO here on 12. Nothing going on with the nodes. MOJO, of course, is a tactic defender, so we need to bring in a tactic attacker. And normally, of course, you wouldn't really want to bring in Void to a MOJO fight necessarily. But, you know, thanks to how overpowered the tactic is, we are effectively immune to all of the degen. So we can play this fight more or less straight up. And between the withers from the tactic and Void's natural debuffs, we'll be taking no damage for the entire fight here. So just paying careful mind to, making sure that I'm knocking him down frequently, either with specials or with heavies, not only to get that slow debuff on him for an extra debuff, but also to prevent the unstoppable, because I'm playing pretty loosely here with my dexes, and I didn't want to get caught, triggering an unstoppable on him. So another really clean fight, very happy with that one. Alright, up in Section 2, we're on Path 6 again, and this is a WICCAN. I think we had a WICCAN either on this node or on the next node last war, but in either case, the strategy is pretty much going to be the same. The strategy does not involve getting punched in the face repeatedly by WICCAN, so we are going to be able to heal up all of that damage, though, via the neutralized debuff that he has on us. So I'm trying to parry a little bit more often than I normally would have, to make sure that we have 100% uptime on that debuff, and thus can heal up to full before the end of the fight here. So other than that, this is a very simple, straightforward fight. I think I talked about it multiple times this season. I think we fought a WICCAN with Void, and nothing really new to cover here. So I'll pop the striker off. We've healed up to the full yellow bar, and it's like those hits to the face never even happened. Alright, moving on, we have an APOC on node 33. So the way this node works is that if APOC has 3 or more prowess at any point, his special attacks are going to become unblockable. So the safe play in this specific matchup is somebody like Iron Man, who can block unblockable special attacks from mutant champions. So we're going to play this fight pretty much the same way. It doesn't really matter what special he uses. So right here I'm trying to get fancy with the parries. However, I lose control of my block and take the drop kick right to the face. That's okay, because we only have this fight with Tony, so as long as we survive, it'll be fine. Trigger the arc reactor with the special 2, and then from here it's just keep the armor ups paused and spam the special 1 here. Now if we did run into some danger at some point in this fight, we always have access to the regen, which is once per quest, and since this is the only fight, I would have no problem triggering it manually if I needed to, but we're not going to need to. We won't take any more hits here. So all our specials are invalidating his prowess, and again, we were countering the unblockable part of the specials anyway, but it's just nice to remove those prowess anyways here. So I think we're going to bait out one more special 2, and then I think we activate the striker on our next combo, and it ends up killing him with the striker here. So 1, 2, and 3. Got out of there with a W. Alright, up on Mini Boss Island, we have a ZEMO on 42 with one eye open, so we can't parry him. You don't really want to take blocked hits against a ZEMO anyways. And then he also has Make a Stand, so we're going to have to knock him down to remove that 90% protection if we want to deal any kind of meaningful damage to him. So when I practiced this fight with my own ZEMO, the thing I specifically practiced a lot was heavy countering his special 1. And the plan here was to build myself up to about 2 bars of power, bait out the special 1 from him, heavy counter it, and that would remove protection and free me up to either launch a special 2 into his block for the double Furies, or just, you know, special intercept or whatever, and get the 1 Fury special 2. So I kind of have varying degrees of success with this. I have no idea why I didn't heavy counter that first special 1 there. So now I'm just going to have to cash out with this special 1, or special 2 rather, instead of going all the way up to the special 3. So we're kind of trying to reset ourselves here. We definitely don't want to push into special 2, so we have to continuously bait out his special 1s. And now I am going to cash out once again while protection is still down. And now we've kind of reset ourselves. We're at low power, he's at low power. So I can once again build up to the special 2, bait out a special 1, but then I mess up the decks here, I think, on this one. I mess up the spacing, rather, and I instead take the last hit, which puts a permanent bleed on me, which is fine, because I had switched up my masteries before this fight to run max coagulate and also max willpower, so we're actually going to end up healing from that 1 permanent bleed on us. So yeah, like, this is a prime example of, you know, things going absolutely perfectly in duels, in practice fights. I practiced, again, a bunch doing that heavy count on the special 1, and by the time I was comfortable with it, I was getting like 100% success rate on that counter. And then, you know, I just get into this fight, and for whatever reason, I just, like, I have like this massive brain fart, and, you know, you saw what happened. I either don't do it, or I messed up the decks on the special 1. So yeah, I do get it. I know I kind of get back into the right frame of mind at some point during this fight, and I do get the heavy counter off. But it involves, like, you know, like using a light attack to close some of the distance between you and him. So it's definitely, you know, it's not the easiest thing, but something that I can work on for future fights for sure. So yeah, I mean, we're not really in danger of dying here unless we take like a bunch of hits to the face or we get rooted or whatever. There we go. Finally, I get the heavy counter on the special 1 off, and now I'm trying to let him block, but he is not cooperating. So I instead launch my special 2, but he somehow parries it. Just unbelievable AI reaction time there. Yeah, and we do get enough damage off anyways. And he's almost dead. But yeah, just you know, a little bit of a frustrating fight here. So get another heavy counter off successfully, remove protection once again, and then I think I chicken out there and bait out 1 more special 1 before finishing him off with a special 2. So I think in the future, if I were to take this fight, it would definitely go a bit better, and I'd be a bit more prepared for it. So, all right, up on Boss Island, we have a Kindred on 47. We fought a Mysterio here 2 wars ago, I think it was, and the strategy is pretty much the same. So I don't really want to be bothered with the Falter debuff multiple times during the fight. So we're going to intentionally trigger it here on the first bar of power, and then I think I'm pushing him to the special 2, and I'm not confident that I can get the knockdown within that 4-second window. So I'm just going to back off, let the Falter trigger on myself, let it expire. There is a little bit of danger because our withers are falling off, so we are taking some degen here, but it's okay. And now from here on out, we aren't going to be using any more specials the rest of the fight because we don't want to trigger that vigilance buff and then the falter on us again. So we have plenty of debuffs at this point to be immune from his degen, using the striker into the heavy to get the slow, making sure that we don't trigger the unstoppable on him. And then, you know, we're, you know, what, less than a minute in the fight, and he's pretty much, you know, already dead at this point. So right there, I mistimed the special 1, and the degen actually is healing us up via willpower, which is just amazing. So I think we finished this fight close to a full yellow bar here. So right here, just waiting out the root, and then he's just gonna kill himself there. So really good times. All right, last fight of the war for me is another Mysterio on node 49. This is probably the most annoying and difficult fight on the war map currently. There's just so much that works against you here, even with a good tactic attacker like Void. So you saw me pop an advanced power boost just so we can get an extra debuff applied as quickly as possible, and then we won't have access to any of our special attacks for the rest of the fight here. So, you know, with Stunning Reflection and Brute Force, you just end up taking a lot of like unnecessary damage from Mysterio because his AI is so goofy, just tossing heavies into nowhere. He gets notoriously passive at points during fights. So I think we actually finished this fight faster than the previous war, but we end up taking more damage. I think I accidentally push him to the special 2 early in this war, and then I end up taking a bunch of damage there. So we did trigger the Unstoppable, as you can see. However, I was only planning on doing 1 hit anyway, so I kind of like lucked out. So there we go. He's being super passive, so we had to do a combo, which was going to push him over the special 2 anyways. And now he has the invisibility gas, so I take the chance and hit into him, and of course I miss and take a combo. So, you know, we're about even in the health race here, not panicking, staying with it. I know that if I just don't take any more stupid damage, the debuffs are going to whittle him down and he'll be dead in just a few seconds here. So Fear of the Void triggers, so we get the increased attack rating, and a couple more hits does it. But that fight, man, that fight sucks. All right, we had another very frustrating loss. Shout out to LVT. A lot of really good folks over there. Lizer in particular, and I think Happy's over there still, and Carl. 7 kills for me, 0 deaths, and the 3-0 start that we had for this season has been wiped away, and we've lost 3 in a row now. I think 2 of the 3 losses have been very winnable wars for us, and we just kind of blew it at the end. So very, very frustrating, but you know, we're still on track for a 6-6 finish, which should get us into Masters. And if we can squeak out 1 more win and go 7-5, that'll probably be enough to get us into top 10 again. So all is not lost. Just got to you know, buck up and do better in the next war. So folks, if you enjoy this, please let me know by hitting that like button. And as always, thank you very much for watching. We'll see you again next time.